overview of all the features of SciSummary. Starting out, summarization, the kind of most straightforward core feature that we have. So I'm just going to add a document here. You can add any document that is a PDF, doc, a docx file, Word file, PowerPoint, whatever, spreadsheet, and it will automatically convert it to a PDF for you. From here, you've got this nice site kind of dashboard here that will show, references to this paper as well as a link to it on site. But let's look at the summarization mode. So you can summarize by section. What this does is each article has various sections like introduction, experimental methods, that kind of thing. And you can actually pick which sections that you want to use. So I could just summarize these 3 sections if I would chose to. Or you could just say all sections. You can even edit sections in here if our parsing didn't quite get it right. So say the abstract had another paragraph that it didn't detect, you can just paste that in here and then just save it and then generate the summary. So let's go ahead and generate a summary of all sections to show what that looks like. This should take just a few seconds. Generally, our summaries take anywhere from 10 seconds to a minute, essentially. So that was fairly fast for that one. Probably because it's Easter and nobody's using the site. But there are those sections that we selected to be summarized. Also, additionally, you can chat. Well, let's go through the summary mode. Sorry. The other summary mode is summarize. This is just a quick synopsis. You can choose the length, small, short, medium, long for each of these summary types. And it will generate a short, medium, or long summary. So here's a medium summary of this paper. You'll notice these little numbers in here. These are references or citations back to the original paper. So this content that it's pulling out of here was found on page 6. You can click it to view the page and then go back to viewing all pages if you so choose to. You'll also get some keywords generated for the summary that will appear here, as well as these Wikipedia links. So if there's terms that we pull out, like transmission efficiency or something like drift region, it will highlight those terms and you can actually click them and it'll take you directly to Wikipedia. So cool. There's another summary mode for summarize with area of focus. This is if you want to be more specific. Like say you wanted to talk about the ion trajectory simulations. This gives the user a little bit more control over what is generated in the summary. It modifies how the prompting works a little bit and makes it a little bit more focused. So this summary here will focus more on the ion trajectory simulations. And same deal, you get all these citations and stuff in line there. Another summary mode that we have is key points. This is just going to give you a bulleted list. I'm going to do short this time, so it should be 3 key points or takeaways from the article. So yeah, you can see them there, as well as key points and overview. This is kind of a combination of the summarize and the key points mode. So let's see that generated. Again, it'll take a few seconds to generate. Let's see if it goes while we wait. Yeah, same deal here. Every single summary gets these Wikipedia links and the citations. Here's the key points and overview. So you'll see at the top you got the key points. There's three points, and then like a description, more detailed description of the paper itself. Finally, we've got simplify. So this will take the article and kind of like explain it like I'm 5. If you're familiar with that Reddit trend. But let's do a short explain it like I'm 5. It explains it like you're a high school student. That's how we prompt the model. But there you go. Just a very short description of what this stuff is. So from there, we've got the final summary mode, which is opportunities for future research. Let's do another one of these in short. And let's see what it generates. But this should say, hey, based on this article that you've presented to us, what are the opportunities for future research? So it says like investigate the varying RF amplitudes, some science stuff, right? I'm sure this would make sense to my wife who wrote this paper. Some other features you might have seen when I highlighted things is that you can expand on terms. So let's say that we see like RF amplitudes. What the heck is an RF amplitude? Let's define that term in this paper. You can go ahead and click it, and it will generate a description of what this term means within the context of the paper. So it doesn't just define it like we'll get up in a dictionary. It describes what an RF amplitude is in this paper. And additionally, let's say that this opportunity for future research is super interesting, and we want to get more info on it. We can say expand upon this, and it will actually generate an expansion of the summary based on this kind of third bullet point here. Again, this might take a little bit, but there it is. It's got an expansion. And it just addresses that bullet point and goes into more detail about it. So that is all the summary modes and kind of what the summary tool. Oh, sorry, no, there are other things here. You can download each of these summaries as a PDF. You can download as a docx file. You can share the summaries, which is nice. You can say anyone with the link can access it. And then if I just go ahead and view this, I have to log in because we do require an account. Type my password right. That helps. Oh, or log in with the proper account. Well, let's just do it over here. So anyone with the link can view the summary. This is what it looks like when you share it. Additionally, you can choose just to share it with specific people, similar to like Google Docs, right? You can just say only share this to people who have an account under the email address of like heckle.max@gmail.com. Also, we have this added Zotero note. So Zotero is a reference manager, and what it will do here is it will attempt to locate the article in Zotero, and if it does find it, it'll just automatically add it as a note. But if it doesn't find it, you can actually just pick which article you want to add this as a note to, which is super cool. It's super helpful for researchers to have that kind of like referenced in there. So cool. That now is everything that you can do with summarizations. Chat is very similar to ChatGPT. We do generate some example questions. You can just ask the question, and the model will come back and say what it is. It will also cite where it found these answers. So this is on the first page. It'll also pull in relevant figures. So what are the ion trajectory simulations? And if this works, it should return the actual table with the ion trajectory simulations on it. Didn't look like it did, but if I asked that question better, it would show it. Oh, it might also be because the figures haven't actually been parsed. So yeah, we do parse out all figures and images from the summary. So yeah, you can see here's these figures and pages. And now actually, I think because those are parsed, it might show up. Yes, it does. So here you can see the ion simulation, like ion trajectory simulations. Cool. So figures, yeah, we just parse out all the figures so you can view them. Just kind of like nice way to reference them. And then references. So this is kind of like metadata about the paper. So you can see when it was published. You can see the DOI. You can see the title. You also can see the authors and the references in the paper. So let's say that we were looking at this paper like, hey, this one's interesting. I want to read more about that. We will actually import and attempt to summarize this paper for the end user. So it's going to try to find it. It might not. So it didn't find it there. But you can at least say like, okay, cool. Here's the paper itself. I can actually just download it if I need to. But if it is able to download it, we'll import it right in and summarize it right away. Paper recommendations. I don't know if this paper has recommendations. Let's see if it does. But it will essentially generate, hey, based on this paper, here's some recommended further reading. Yeah, so it did have recommendations. So, this might be interesting to an end user. So you can say, oh, cool, I want to import that and see what that has to do, but import with blocked. A lot of times these imports will be blocked, but you can just click it and download it manually. These sites block third parties from crawling their web traffic or whatever. Okay, so additionally in here you have this full text available button, which is kind of cool. So this will show up if even if a paper, let's see if we have any. So this one is not open access, but I can't access this. The reason that it shows full text available for this one is because I have said in my profile that I'm associated with the Ohio State University. If I wasn't, that wouldn't show up as open text available or full text available. So you can actually specify that and then say like, well, cool, okay, I can click this button and I do have access to this paper through my institution if I were to log in and essentially download it. So there's that. And then finally, notes is just a basic notepad. You can leave whatever kind of like notes that you want and it'll, save so you can come back to it and reference it. Yeah, if you just whatever kind of like notes you want to add here, it's just a simple text pad. So that is everything with the summarization page. There is some other stuff in here that I'm going to show for the library. So the library is super cool because all of those features that you have from the summarization page, you can essentially do here as well. So you can say, well, at least for summaries. So you can say here, okay, cool, this is a paper. I just want to summarize this paper. I don't want to have to go to the page. Same deal. You can select all the modes, select the length, you can select the languages. I didn't mention the other one, but we have every language in Google Translate is available here to summarize the papers in. And changing the language does not detract from the quality of the summary, as well as the pages. So you can say like specify pages. I just want to do pages 1 through 4, whatever you want to do. So also though, if you're not just selecting a single file, you can do our multi-article summaries. So if I check this, and this, I can be like, cool, I want to chat with these 3 documents and ask some questions. It'll ask me to confirm. And then once I confirm, I can say like, what is an ion carpet? From here, it should generate an answer and reference back. So yeah, it references back to this original paper here, which is about the ion carpet. And I'll say like, okay, this was found on this page of this paper. And this is great for extracting information out of a bunch of papers at the same time. Also, you can do different summary modes here. So bulk summarize is just doing what I just showed for all the summarization modes for individual papers, just a bunch at the same time. So you can just like the type and all that kind of stuff before, but it'll just summarize all these papers asynchronously in the background. You don't have to click through each one and summarize. Comparing, this will actually generate a comparison of all of these papers. So in this one, this one has sections. These two don't have sections, but you can choose the sections. So say you only want to compare the results of the experiments. You can also specify an area of focus. But for this, I'm just going to say the entire article for all of these, and then it will generate a comparison article for these 3 articles. Also from this page, you can chat if you want. You can chat with any multi-article summary, essentially. This might take a little bit because it does have to summarize each article individually. So these generally take a bit longer, but you do receive emails of them as well. So here's the overview of these papers. It also gives you the single individual summaries that I came up with for the papers while I was doing the combined summary. And again, as I said, there's chat. You can also see all of these summaries that you generate on this kind of like landing page for multi-article summaries. And we do have a wizard here where you can kind of pick a multi-article summary and generate one on the fly without doing it from your library. Cool. Finally, there's combined summaries. That is like the multi-art. It's the same as the compare summaries, except essentially it combines them all without trying to contrast them. So it'll give you like a brief overview at the top of like what all the papers are about. And then from there, you can see each individual summary as well. So same deal, this might take a little bit of time just because it's summarizing each one individually, but you can also click through the papers and kind of see them on their own. But yeah, so let's see how long this takes. It's gonna take a minute. Yeah, there it is. Okay. So combined summary, like I said, it gives you a couple paragraphs of the common themes across these papers. And then again, gives you kind of like individual summaries below. Cool. So the last thing I want to show off with the library is our folders. So when you select these items, you can say like, cool, create a folder from these and call it like, some like thesis. And inside of thesis now, you can see these 3 articles, and you can do all of those items for this folder as well. You can also just add items from your folder, from your library. Say like, you're like, oh yeah, I forgot I wanted to add that. Just add that in there and it'll appear. You can also filter by tags. So I don't have any tags in this, but if I added a tag, say like this is diffusion and new tag. And this one, let's manage this tag. Say this is new and diffusion. And then if I pull those up, I can say like, okay, cool, only show me articles in this folder with diffusion as a tag and new or new tag or whatever. And then you can also do like combinations of these. So it's just cool sorting and filtering. Speaking of sorting and filtering, the last big feature I want to show off is our search capabilities. So this is super cool. You can ask research questions in plain language, where you can say something like, what is an ion carpet in mass spectrometry? And then do a search on that. And what it will do is it will find results, so the most relevant papers to your search, and it will actually summarize those top results in a kind of like massive summary up here, or like a meta summary up here, if you want to call it that. And then from here, it'll actually reference the papers in the results. So it'll say like an ion carpet mass spectrometry is blah, 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 blah. And I found this paper in this other paper. Also from here, if you already have this article in your library, you can just click on it. It'll take you to the article in your library. You don't have to reinstall it or worry about kind of duplicating the items. And same deal with the full text available here as the recommended papers. If it is available via your institution, you can click that button and it will show you a link to it. It's probably not showing up because I'm not logged in. And finally, if you don't have the article in your paper or the article in your account, you can just click this button to import it and summarize it. It will attempt to import it. This one was successful, so you can then click view. It's in your library now. You can do whatever you want with it. You can rename it. You can chat with it. Look at the references, summarize it, et cetera, et cetera. So that's basically it. The other big thing, I guess, I should show off is how you can add articles. So I only did a PDF. You can also add links to articles where we'll crawl it. You can add raw text, which that's just like it sounds like. You just paste raw text in. And finally, importing from Zotero. So that's that reference manager I was talking about. You can just click here. It will prompt you to connect your Zotero account. And then once you connected it, you can just like select an article, hit submit, and it will pull it in from your Zotero library and appear on your dashboard once it's done processing and stuff. So yeah, that's all of the core features at that point. Oh gosh, not all of it. Sorry, the AI abstract generator. So this is kind of cool because if you're writing a paper, writing the abstract is sometimes a pain. You as the researcher understand what the paper is about, but now you have to describe it in a short sentence. So here you can upload your manuscript, which I'm just going to upload a random document. Same deal, it can be any kind of file type. And then once it's uploaded, it will generate an abstract of the paper. So from here, you'll wait a second and it will do the same thing. After a few moments, it will refresh and show the abstract. And then here's an abstract that it generated for this paper that you can kind of like edit if you want to, save if you want to, and rank it. Okay, now I think that is all of the core features. There's nothing else, but feel free to reach out if you have questions at max@scisummary.com.